What is going on, Bulls Nation? So we have some breaking news today, and one of them is Kyrie Irving asked for a trade, and of course the Bulls Nation lost their mind. If you're all over Twitter, you'll see some packages, and we'll talk about it right after this.
Let's talk about one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
All right, Bulls Nation. So first and foremost, I want to apologize for my voice. I've been under the weather for the past 2 weeks now. That's why there's not a whole lot of videos. I don't want to sound horrible, but today I just can't keep quiet on this events right here, because a lot of Bulls fans wanted Kyrie Irving, and rightfully so. We need a point guard. He's one of the best point guards out there, an all-star. Really, the guy skill-wise is unmatched. The guy is in a different level when it comes to basketball. The thing is, it's not the basketball that's the problem with Kyrie Irving. It's a lot of things. There's a lot of baggage, and that's why they are in the position that they are in right now. Brooklyn offered him an extension, but with stipulations. And I understand why Brooklyn put those stipulations in place. He has shown time and time that you can't trust Kyrie Irving. He's going to work half the time. He's like Hawaii. The problem is he hasn't really helped. Well, I wouldn't say help. He hasn't really carried a team to a championship, kind of like Hawaii. Doesn't have finals MVP. He wasn't the best player on any. He won with LeBron. But you can't build. Whenever you have Kyrie, you need to have a good talent around him to make him shine. Otherwise, you'll be mediocre, kind of like what the Bulls are. So one of the packages that I've seen that it's being thrown around by Bulls fans to acquire Kyrie Irving, of course, you understand the premise, because Kyrie is a star, an all-star, that the Nets would want an all-star in return. The thing is, how many buyers are out there for Kyrie? Why would you mortgage your future for a guy that you can't even trust to play 50 games a season? A guy that you don't know who's going to play or going to find a way to skip games for whatever reason it might be, right? Whatever the reason is. He's like your coworker that you go to work with, and he's really good at what he does, but calls in sick every single time he has a sneeze. So that's the problem with Kyrie. The basketball was never a question. He would fit in any team. Dynamic point guard. Can drop 30 in his sleep. Easy. But and he might be a good teammate as well. He seems like a good person. It's just that it's all been said and done that his basketball is not his first priority. And us basketball fans, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. If you put that uniform in, you're getting paid this much. We want you on the floor. And because if you want somebody like that, we'd stick with Lonzo. So one of the trades that's been floating around is either DeMar or Zach. Now with DeMar, you got to add more, because DeMar's not making enough. DeMar's only making 27. Kyrie, it's short by like 9 million. So you might have to attach Kobe White. And at that point, I don't know. Because here's the thing. If you are trading DeMar, you have or Levine, you have every intention of extending Kyrie. As a franchise, do you really want to do that to a guy who has a history of missing games? Do you really want to? And I'm not just talking about the Bulls. I'm talking about every NBA team in general, especially if you are. I mean, it's one thing if you're signing him outright, like as a free agent, maybe that's your choice. But if you're giving away talent, you're giving away one of the main guys who barely misses any games in DeMar DeRozan, and you're gonna trade that for a guy who wants to call in sick because he wants to deal with issues of the world. So I don't know. That's a tough take right there. Now, if you want to give up Levine, so now you have a nucleus of Kyrie, potentially Lonzo coming back next year. Let's pretend he's coming back next year. So you got 2 point guards. So are you gonna make Lonzo a shooting guard then, or are you gonna be Kyrie shooting guard? So that's a dilemma. The only thing that this makes sense, in my opinion, is by not trading either Zach or DeMar, rather trading Lonzo in the process. So therefore, you eliminate the logjam in the guard. Now, if you trade in Lonzo for Kyrie, you don't need to, in my opinion, you don't need to extend Kyrie right away. And let me tell you why. We all know the danger of having Kyrie in here or in any team. He's unpredictable. So you sign him as a rental. So if it works well and you feel like there's not a whole lot of risk, since you traded Lonzo, who's half man, half a season anyway, I think it's safe to label Lonzo injury prone for here on forward. So now you traded a guy who'd miss games anyway for a guy who might miss games. So it might be a fair trade-off. Of course, Kyrie's going to cost you a lot more. Personally, I don't want Kyrie. I don't think you can depend on him. I don't think it's worth the money and all that. But if you trade Lonzo for him, and my trade would be for Vooch, maybe Lonzo and Tony Bradley, because I understand Lonzo alone is not gonna cut it. We need $17 more million. And Vooch, we haven't re-signed the guy. Maybe we won't. By doing that, you give Vooch, at least with the Nets, a reliable scorer. You can put Nick Claxton maybe in the power forward position, or maybe it's a backup. I don't know. Or put Vooch, behind him, or put Vooch as a power forward. I don't know. And then put Tony Bradley in there as a throw-in. Because as the Bulls the Bulls gets Kyrie Irving and Seth Curry. Now Seth we could use. So, we need a shooter badly on this team. And now you trade in Kyrie. We're going to deal with the center later on in a different trade. But the most important thing for the Bulls is that if they don't have any intentions of signing Vooch, you free up cap space. You free up cap space from Vooch and Lonzo, because you're tied up with Lonzo for 2 more years. And with the health of that guy, you don't know. So even if you let Kyrie walk, the biggest takeaway here is you can re-sign Seth Curry again for next year, and you got away from the long-term contract of Lonzo Ball, because we don't know what's going on with that guy. And maybe he'll get better. I don't know. But at this point, I don't even trust the guy. I want to move forward. I want this dead weight off the Bulls right now. If he's not even going to play this season, trade him out. As far as the Nets, if he pans out well, he'll be the point guard. You can have him running with KD and the other guy that they have, Ben Simmons. So that's a nice nucleus for them with Vucevic on it. So it's still pretty competitive lineup. Yes, they're gonna miss Kyrie, but it looks like they don't want to. Kyrie's not gonna sign with them anyway. So at least at this way, they still get 2 starter quality for Kyrie Irving. And as far as the Bulls, we know this team is not gonna gel. So even if we let go, the nucleus of Lonzo there with his health situation, if we are gonna rebuild and we're gonna hit the restart button, I don't want him there. I want it to be with Io, Pat Williams, and maybe Kobe White. That's it. I don't want Lonzo in there. If we're gonna hit the restart button, maybe in 2 years after DeMar is out, I don't want him here either. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about this, and if KD gets traded as well, we gotta prepare for that. So I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and if you're a Bulls fan, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.